All right, it says I'm live. We're going to give it a few moments here, see if this thing turns around. Here it goes. Let's mute this thing. There we go. Perfect. Howdy, everyone. We'll give it a few minutes, see if some people run in here. I see Pete out there. Not sure if anyone else is out there right now. How you doing, Pete? Let's see. I'd like to hear more about your thoughts on the DWX. I have a full size and love that gun. It's a smooth shooting pistol. I got to tell you, Pete, it's fantastic. It is easily one of the favorites in the collection, hands down. As I said before the other night on Big Johnson's chat, it's easy on my hand, and I've got a bum left hand. So anything I can do to mitigate the recoil, make it a little bit easier on me to shoot, I'm in. That's why I've moved into heavier guns, and the DWX is just fantastic. I like the compact too. I really do, but the DWX. The Shadow 2, the P226 X5 or X5 Legion, any one of those really are the ones that I probably am going to pick up the most, just to preserve the wrist and not feel quite so bad later. So Wiley, Alaskan Ballistics, Double X, hard to find a DWX. Yeah, just keep looking, man. They're out there. CZ is well known for, CZ Dan Wesson, I should say, they're well known for putting out firearms in small doses. So just keep an eye out. Gun Broker is kind of your best friend in that regard. I hate to say it. Let's see, Roanoke. I was looking through your channel the other week and was like, WTF, what happened to this guy? Life changes, man. Schedule and life changes, and YouTube was pretty hard on the channel back in 2019. That made it a little bit more challenging for me to continue to produce content. To be honest with you, just financially, it was a little bit less savvy to do that. I mean, producing videos, they're expensive to do. I mean, they really are. And so I'm still in the industry. I'm spending more time on the training side and sales and that sort of thing. So I'm still around. I'm just not on YouTube quite as much. I periodically pop in on streams on other channels like Big Johnson, Guns and Gear, 1776 or Bust. But I wanted to check in with everyone on my channel. I wanted to dust the cobwebs off the channel a little bit and see if anybody showed up. So a couple of people have. So that's kind of the deal there. Ranger Andy, good to see you. Very good to see you, my friend. Pistol Pete, let's see. I put the lock black aluminum palm swell grips on the DWX, and their screws. Feels awesome. That reminds me. So I did have to do a little bit of work. The magazine release was a little bit stuck on my DWX when I got it. It just needed to be moved around a little bit. So I had to remove it from the gun, which actually is quite easy to do, but I hadn't done it before. So of course I removed the grips as well to get to it, just to kind of see what was going on. It turns out it's a 1911 mag release, basically. So very easy. And I got it to work right away. It works fine. It's pretty buttery now, but these screws for the grips, I think I stripped them just a little bit, not 100%. But just a little bit. So I'm a little leery of removing the grips again. That was a noob gunsmithing thing probably, but it is what it is. So I'll live with the grips that are on it right now. And I think they look good. They're serviceable. They're fine. So no big deal. But Kevin D, good to see you. Glad to be back. Glad to be back. Appreciate it. Fina, how are you? Hope you're well. Snowman, good to see you, buddy. It has been a while. It really has. I think the last time I did a live chat was right after surgery on my hand last year. So it's been a while. Like I was saying, just kind of wanted to dust the cobwebs off and see if anyone would join and ask some questions and just catch up for a little while. I would like to start doing this a little bit more often. I'll be honest with you, live streaming is not very difficult. There's no cost to it, which is kind of nice. I just have to transform my little second office a little bit, put up some lights and that sort of thing, but it's not hard to do. So that's kind of the New Year's resolution for 2024, to get back to live streaming a little bit more, not only solo, but also bring some of the guys back. Big Johnson, see if we can get Honest Outlaw and a few other people on here as well. So I have to sweet talk everybody into doing it, but hopefully they will. So we'll see. Range Randy, the new CZ Shadow 2 compact is awesome. I agree. It's a great gun. I did pick one up. I still love the Shadow 2. And again, for those who were on Big Johnson's chat the other night, I still think the Shadow 2 might be my favorite gun in the collection. I mean, it really is a fantastic gun. Dollar for dollar, pound for pound, what you get. Obviously, if you're looking for a carry gun, it's a terrible option. But if you're looking for basically anything else, it'll do the job. So, and I know there are people who probably carry it, but again, the Shadow 2 is great. Shadow 2 Compact is fine as well. I do like it. Mika, how are you? Good to see you. Appreciate it. Snowman, what do you think about the P320 AXG Legion and the 225 X5 Legion with comp slides? I have both. As I was saying earlier, with after surgery on my left hand, I'm a little bit more recoil sensitive. So I have found that heavier guns are a lot more enjoyable for me to shoot, especially if I'm going to shoot hundreds of rounds. So those are two of my favorites. I absolutely love them. In fact, I really would like to locate a 365 AXG Legion, but to my knowledge, aside from a few reviewers, they really aren't out there or very much at all. So I'm not sure what's going on with SIG, what the deal is with that. But I'm thinking it would also be a little bit more enjoyable because it's a little heavier. Obviously, not as heavy as those guns, but yeah, that the 226 X5 Legion, the trigger on that is just fantastic. It's light. It's got a great reset. And the 320 AXG Legion is good too. I mean, I think you can only go so far on a 320 trigger, to be honest. Now, you guys may have found some different things that have worked for you. I've kind of messed around with springs and various things. And I feel like I've got it about as good as I can get it. But it is very enjoyable to shoot for sure. So Alaskan Ballistics, you're welcome on my live stream every Tuesday night. Really appreciate that. Pop's Quest, oh my God. He says, hey, asshole, I need to, can I star that? I got to star that. Where are we? There we go. We'll star it and show on the screen, Pops. Oh, man, that makes my night. I really appreciate that. It has been a long time, and I hope you're well. I really do. Very good. Pistol Pete Shadow 2 shoots itself. The Tanfo clones as well. Yeah. I had one of the Tanfolios. I don't remember which one it was. I had one problem with it. Came with one magazine. That pissed me off. That, two magazines to me on firearms that are, over $1,000 and you're getting into competition guns. But 3 magazines should be a minimum. It really should be a minimum. So 1 magazine is insulting. I ended up walking away from that. It was a good shooter, no doubt. Very reminiscent of a Shadow 2. But anyway, Alaskan Ballistics. So what's your favorite 10 millimeter? I like 10 millimeter 1911s. I don't necessarily have a preference, but I like that form factor. Just being similar to traditional 45, just a little bit beefier. But yeah, so I would say 1911 probably would be my choice. I've not shot the 320 X10 or whatever it's called. We've actually got one right now on the sales side of Centerfire if you're looking for one in the area, but I haven't shot it. It just to me seems a little bit too light and a little fat in the grip for being light, so probably wouldn't be for me. So Kevin D, say it just one time. So if I could only have one, yeah, right. So if I could only have one right now, I think the DWX would probably be the one, just because I'm really enjoy shooting it so much. That's funny. I appreciate that. Mika, meant to ask the other night, how are your wrists? Didn't you have surgery? Yeah, I did. Last April 7th of 2022, I did. So I mean, so this is the one. It's as good as it's going to get, I think. So I'm a little bit limited. I don't think I'll ever have all of the strength back, even though I work with it every day. I mean, I'm constantly doing exercises and trying to strengthen it and all that kind of stuff. But I think I'm sort of, I'm going to have a limit there. So at least I can shoot again. I mean, I really didn't shoot for probably 10 months at all. So yeah, I'm glad to be doing it again, even in small doses. I'm glad to be doing it. So Pops, yeah, thanks, man. I hope you're doing well also. Seriously, we should catch up sometime. Pistol Pete, the Tanfo came from Italy with 2 mags. EAA held one back because they sucked as an importer. IFG does that for Tanfo these days. I don't get that, man. That really doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. They can't be making that much. I mean, obviously they're making money on it, but they can't be making that much. And I would think they would be turning away people by doing that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Pop's Quest 10 millimeter must be way overhyped because I have never owned one. I don't have one in the collection either. I'm kind of with you on that, and I don't have a problem with the round really, but it's harder to find. Ammo's a little bit harder to find. It's more expensive, and I just can't justify it. I don't have a reason for it. I can see why Alaskan Ballistics would want it and need it. It would be a tool in the tool bag for him. Makes perfect sense. But for me, it's unnecessary. I'll stick with 45. 45 is easier to find. It's a little bit less expensive. It suppresses very well. That solves the issue, in my opinion. Alaskan Ballistics. I love the SIG 320. Oh, SIG 320. Okay, yeah, 10 millimeter. But I would not feed hard cast loads through it. Well, that makes sense. Not great in bear country. The Smith and Wessons have problems. Okay, yeah. I mean, that can happen. I mean, those are first gen releases, so that can definitely happen. I don't think I've seen a Smith 10 millimeter. To my recollection, I saw a steel frame M&P the other day. It was pretty cool. If you're into Smiths and you want a heavier M&P, that would be the way to go for sure. Let's see what else is going on here. I'm hoping I'm seeing all of the comments and questions. I'm doing all this from StreamYard or SteamYard or whatever it is, StreamYard. So I'm on a laptop, so pretty small real estate on the screen, just because I didn't want to convert a whole room for this, at least for the time being. So if I missed a comment, let me know, please. I'm trying to think what else is new, really. I don't think a lot in terms of guns. I did get a telescoping stock for a B&T APC 9. Those things are freaking expensive. Worth it, I think. It certainly shrank the package down a little bit. So I had a folding UMP stock on it before. It is Form 1. But I did shrink that up a little bit. So it's better for a messenger bag, which I really like. So that's kind of a new thing. So I'm trying to get used to that a little bit. There's not a lot on your shoulder. It's kind of small real estate there, but I do like it. Pistol Pete, I know a lot of people question DW for using the P10F mags, but they're awesome magazine. I mean, they're good magazines for sure. I thought it was a little bit weird as well. The one nice thing is they're cheap. In fact, I picked up it was either 20 or 21 round magazine the other day for about $30, P10F for it. So, I mean, that's cool. It's not an $80 or $100 staccato mag or anything. Nothing wrong with staccato, but their mags are expensive. Frankly, SIG mags are expensive too. So, Alaskan Ballistics, a 45 also has 200 pounds of energy less. Well, yeah, no, that's that, which again makes sense why you would prefer a 10 millimeter where you are. I mean, that definitely makes sense. Pop's Quest, the whole bear country 10 millimeter thing, asking for a friend. Would an AK or AR pistol work for that? It's a good question. Alaskan, you got to take that one, man. That's your expertise, your forte. Ranger Andy, what new handgun are you most interested in? Like that I haven't purchased. Again, probably that 365 AXG Legion, and that's more from a collector perspective since I have the other two, the P226 and the 320. So I feel like if there's a set to complete, I sort of have to do it. It's an OCD thing. What a terrible use of money. But you can't find them. So whatever. So there's that. So Big Johnson and 1776 and I were talking the other night. I think it was Tuesday night. And we were talking about guns you kind of miss that you've moved on from over time. And one that I thought about that I really had a good time testing on the channel and having in the collection for quite a while was the Archon Type B. And so I actually placed an order for one, and it's actually a Gen 1, but it's from, I think, PTR now that does it. So the internals are the Gen 2 internals. So I'll be curious to see what that's like. But I'm excited for that. I thought the Archon was a great gun. Not very well known, not very popular, kind of an off-brand sort of thing, a little bit goofy, but I really liked it quite a bit. So that's it, Randy. You tell me. I mean, all of you guys tell me what are you guys into these days? What's wetting your whistle, or what's on the wish list? What do you think Santa's going to bring you this year? That's really what I want to know. I'd be curious. Dave Gass, great to see you, man. Been a long time. Alaskan Ballistics, not really, unless it's a 458 SOCOM. Penetration is the name of the game. Okay, fair enough. Plethora of blades. I like that. It's cool. KS, why'd you dip on us? Welcome back. Stay for bed. Happy holidays. Yeah, I'd like to start doing more live streams. I wouldn't count on any videos for the time being, and a lot of it's just at time. I'm busy, very busy. 2 jobs by choice, because I like to stay busy. I mean, YouTube was basically my second job, right? So I like filling that time, and I did so when YouTube kind of came down on the channel. So I haven't really looked back, to be honest with you. I might at some point. We'll see. There are certainly some things I'd love to share with you guys. I wish I could have stuff on live stream. I wish I could be holding something in my hand right now, because looking at my face is horrifying. But if we could look at a gun, it'd be pretty cool. But unfortunately, YouTube, I guess, frowns on that on live streams, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I don't make the rules though. So anyway, Tom Sullivan, great to see you, man. Really appreciate it. More ammo, Pete. Yeah. Brent Sauer. I hope I'm saying that right. Kansas City resident. Yep. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. Kansas side, of course. Kansas has to represent, right? Collect Colt ARs and CZs. Okay. So is that a wish list thing for you? That's certainly doable if that's the case. Steve L. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Let's see, Pops. Bears are way harder to kill than I thought. I mean, they're big animals. Yeah, I would think so too. Mika, love my Archon B. Can't wait to get a Gen 2, but want the FDE with the optic cut. May have to wait a little while to do that. So I debated on that. I debated on the Gen 2 or the Gen 1. I really did, because part of me sort of felt you should do the Gen 2. You've already done the Gen 1. You're just going back to the same old thing, although I'm known for that. So it wouldn't be a first. But I was not sold on the whole grip thing, and also I kind of just want one size, right? And the first Archon fit me very well. I liked it, and I liked the grip texture of the first one quite a bit, even though again it's goofy. I liked it. It worked for me, so I just decided to do that. I may at some point try the Gen 2 because I've heard some people say great things about them. So who knows? We'll see. Postquest, you can hold up gun parts. So yeah, true story. Very true. Irish Sheepdog, good to see you. There needs to be so many new If I Could Only Have One videos right now. Just glad to see you back again. I know. I'm so far out of the loop at this point. I mean, thankfully, I work at Centerfire part-time, so I'm still kind of in the industry, and I still get to keep up with what's going on and also see a lot of the new things, even if they're just coming in through transfers or what have you. So I can do that, but otherwise, I mean, I'm out of the loop. I haven't bought a new gun, aside from a couple in years. So, very out of the loop on that. Brent Sauer, not a wish list. Okay. Not a wish list. Collect ARs and CZs. Fair enough. Kevin D, thoughts on the PDP match, polymer versus PDP, full size. I don't have a lot of experience with the PDP. I've shot the PDP F and I liked it okay. Polymer guns anymore, unless it's an HK, I know I'm very snotty, obviously. I'm very elitist because of HK. No, I like them. I think they're cool. But aside from that, polymer doesn't really do much for me these days. And again, part of it's because of the hand. I'm a little bit limited and a little bit weight sensitive in terms of recoil. So I want heavier guns. Now, if it was like the Q5 steel frame or something like that, now we'd be talking if that were the case. And I did do the review on that. I enjoyed that gun well enough. It was a little overpriced, but I liked it. But the PDP seems to people seem to really dig it, man. I see a lot of them come through Centerfire, and a lot of people saying good things about them and their experiences. So I feel like if that's the route you want to take, you're going to be doing well. I mean, that's about the extent of my knowledge on the PDP. But I did like the F. I really did. I thought it was pretty good. Brent, way deep in it. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fina, we need you and Big Johnson to keep the 2A alive. So many questions to ask. Well, I mean, ask away. You'll get one person's opinion on it, and whether my opinion's any good or not. But I'll certainly give it to you and take it for what it's worth. Pistol Pete, Walter's really proud of that steel frame. So they did do a PDP steel frame. I did not know that. I knew they had the Q5 or whatever it was. So I like the idea of the steel frame striker fired. I don't have a problem with that. It's probably why I like those AXG frames quite a bit. So I don't mind. And if I had to have a PDP, if there was a steel frame version, that's what I would get. I wouldn't carry it. I mean, I still carry a polymer gun, but I would certainly shoot a steel frame PDP. Alaskan Ballistics, I'm into 308 AR-10s. And once again, that makes sense. I'm sure they've got just a heck of a lot more power. Matty Deeds, good to see you, man. CC Shadow Compact. Do you think it's a waste of time? Not at all. I've got one, mainly because I'm a big fan of the Shadow 2. Favorite gun, probably of all time for me. And so it made sense to get the Shadow 2 Compact just to if nothing else, say I've tried it. And I've owned it for a while, but I do enjoy it. It's a good shooter. It's a little bit lighter than I prefer. Again, for long distance shooting, anything over about 100, 150 rounds, I really want something heavier than that. But I do like it. I was impressed and will continue to shoot it. Catman 4x4. Man, so glad you're back. Really appreciate that. It's good to see you. Pistol Pete talking to Matty Deeds. Okay. Big Hammer, stick around, KS. I will do my best. Time permitting, of course. Let's see here. Alaska. Start with YouTube Shorts. Okay. I'll leave it at just video again if it sucks. Yeah, I'm real weird about the shorts. I don't know. My instinct is always to do longer form videos because that's what I enjoy watching. If I'm going to sit down and watch something, I don't want to watch something for 3 minutes because there's not enough time to get into it, really. It's probably why I like progressive rock music because it's like, 25-minute epic songs and everything. It's something for me to really kind of dig my teeth into. So I would struggle with that a little bit. If I'm going to do that, it's probably going to be on Instagram or something. I guess my mind has sort of segregated them out a little bit. So I feel like Instagram is more for those short sort of things or pictures, of course. And YouTube is really for videos that hopefully would be informative and entertaining and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I may think differently down the road on that, but not at this time. So Kevin D, they do have a PDP match deal also. Okay, cool. Silverback Gorilla, good to see you as well, my friend. Good to see you. It's been a while. Brent, sorry, you should jump back into posting. Just do a video or a live stream on something you're excited about right now. Don't worry about how many views or clicks. And I don't care about that. I truly don't, especially now. I will tell you guys, anything that I post, YouTube will immediately demonetize. So it doesn't matter anyway. So it would just be for I guess, my enjoyment and hopefully other people's enjoyment as well. So yeah, there would be nothing to gain, at least monetarily for it. And which is fine. That's not that big of a deal. It's more of a time thing for me at this point. But who knows? I might get bored and put something together. Probably wouldn't be any shooting involved. You don't want to see me shoot at this point. I'm slow, just so you know. Big Hammer, don't be a stranger. We've all missed you. P.S. Polymer is becoming boring. Amen to that. And I missed you as well. I appreciate that, man. I agree. Polymer is pretty boring. Again, I like my HKs, and that's more nostalgia, like the USPs and things like that. They're not necessarily the best shooters. I'll be the first to admit it, but I think they're cool. It's a cool factor thing. So I keep them around. Pops, not seeing any Walther pistols or USPSA matches at all for what it's worth. Okay, fair enough. Now, Why do you suppose that is? Is it because not as many people think of Walther and competition style shooting? Or is it cost? I mean, I would be curious to know what it is, because that the steel frame that I had and tested, it was a fine gun. Now it was heavy. It was a big ass gun, but it was nice. So I would be I would wonder why Walthers are just not on the radar. So $1,900, Pete. That's a lot of money. Think of $1,900 and all of the options out there. Now, if you're a Walther fan, you're a PDP fan, it makes sense, right? But there are a lot of options for around that $1,900, $2,000 mark. There really are. Let's see. Alaskan Ballistics, BRB going to the store to buy 308. Okay. Range Randy, are you getting into red dot optics? Nope. Thankfully the eyes still work. Yes, I'm wearing glasses. I realize that's a little bit of irony right there, but the eyes still pick up the iron sights. I'm just not into optics. My brain really struggles with having to rely on something battery driven with my life potentially. That's a hang up for me a little bit. I've spent time with them, not as much as I should. Don't get me wrong, but I haven't gravitated towards them. At some point, I know the technology is probably in a good place now. It's just not my cup of tea at this point. Pistol Pete, I hate the shorts. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Pistol Pete, I'd rather watch Nut and Fancy do a funny 45-minute video on the latest Casio watch than to watch a YouTube short. Yeah. Me too. Does that guy still do videos, by the way? I haven't seen anything from him for a while. Even though I feel like YouTube doesn't really give me the recommendations anymore, because all I subscribe to on this channel is gun channels. That's it. And I don't see what I used to see, which is weird. A-Dubs, good to see you, man. Good to see you. And the letter B. I'm just going to call you B. I hope that's okay. I just joined. I'm not sure if I'm the first to ask, but why did you stop doing vids? I had to come to the shop to get my KS Gun Guy fix. Really appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping in. YouTube kind of killed the channel in July of 2019. And my business mind sense, I'm in corporate America during the day. And that part of me just said it doesn't make sense to spend $100 making each video, and I did that 4 times a month. So it wasn't that expensive, but it was not cheap either. It didn't make sense to do that if YouTube was no longer going to not only monetize them, so YouTube could pay me back for that. I never wanted the viewers to pay anything. I always wanted YouTube to pay something back because it made it easier to continue. But then also they wouldn't recommend them anymore. And I struggled with that, and I just finally said, this doesn't make any sense. So I've filled the time in the industry in other ways instead. So it was all a business decision more than anything else. I mean, I do miss it from time to time, but it was a business decision. Fina, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. It was very nice of you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Let's see, Matthew Dropco. Hope I'm saying that right. Buy a bull shouter for less than 1,900. Yeah, that's a great gun too. No doubt about it. Let's see, Matty D's. I have a full size and a CZ custom A01 LD for USPSA. Was thinking I could transfer my mechanics and muscle memory to the CZ compact for carry. Probably can. I mean, the ergos are quite similar, at least in terms of Shadow 2 to Shadow Compact. I don't know. I maybe have handled an A01 LD at one time or another, but just very briefly, probably from a transfer. So I couldn't speak to that, even though I seem to remember it being pretty close to a Shadow 2 or almost more 97-esque, perhaps. But yeah, you should be able to transfer that pretty easily. Pops, X5 Legion is still my USPSA pistol of choice going on 2 years. Nice. I think Glocks have a bigger presence than Walther, which is odd. I mean, is that probably a cost thing? I would assume it would be a 34, 35, something like that. Long slide. Yeah, I mean, and also just so highly modular in terms of futzing with triggers and various things on Glocks. Almost anyone can do it. I would think that would also be a driving factor. I'm totally guessing. Yeah, I mean, you tell me. Range Randy. I was not going to buy any more polymer handguns. Then I shot the Springfield Echelon and really liked it and bought one. I still like it after a couple of months and close to 1,000 rounds through it. That's cool, man. People have gushed over that thing. I shot 5 rounds through our rental one. I thought it was fine. I mean, again, it was a polymer gun, so it wasn't quite as exciting for me anymore. But people have really gushed over that thing. They really have, shockingly so. But that must mean it's doing something right. So I can't put it down. That's for sure. I may have to spend a little bit more time with it. It's nice to have one, have access to one for free, which is good. So I may have to do that. B, thank you for the clarification. Sucks that YouTube won't monetize things. Again, it wasn't like I was trying to, become a millionaire doing YouTube. Obviously, that's not very realistic, especially for gun channels. But it was nice for them to be able to offset some of the cost of making the videos. That was really all I wanted. Breaking even at the end of the day was perfectly fine for me. I wasn't concerned about anything else. But when they were making that even very difficult, it's just the business side of me said, I can't keep doing this. So anyway, I may do something down the road. Who knows? Pops Quest, YouTube is no longer about the creator. It's only about the ability to sell your video to the masses or ad buyers. 100% true. I mean, they've done so many different things with the ads. They've taken full control over them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, that's my understanding. They put them wherever they want, whether you're monetized, not monetized, anything like that, skippable, non-skippable, all those types of things. And you could watch a 13-minute long video and see 12 ads. And I get it. We're going to see a couple of ads. Fine. I'm okay with that. I don't want to see that many in that short of time. What they really want you to do, I think, is probably go to whatever the YouTube Red is or YouTube Premium, pay that extra money, and then it's ad-free. Hard pass on that. I wouldn't do that. So I'll deal with the ads, I guess, and go from there. Ad blocker, if you're on a computer, it's the way to go. Pistol Pete, my YouTube videos never get any views. Pete, are you making videos? You need to tell me honestly if you're making videos, because if you are, I want to watch them. Pop's Quest, self-gunsmithing is a big selling point. Oh, 100%. I actually really enjoy that. In fact, the desk that I'm sitting at, this is actually where I used to do all my reviews, in this room on this very desk. I'm on that same wood desk. I still do almost all the work on anything I have in here. With some exception, I've got a gunsmithing rig down in the garage too, if I need to, for more space. But by and large, I can get away with almost anything on this desk, and I love it. I really do. I enjoy the peace with that. I don't know. It's kind of nerdy probably, but getting out the tools and, getting finicky. This light that hangs over me, I can drag this way down. It's really bright, and I can just kind of get into my own head a little bit and enjoy that. I've learned how to work on HKs and SIGs, and of course Glocks, Smith and Wessons, various things like that. So it's just been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed that. I have not worked on CZs yet. That is something I need to learn, and I just haven't done it. But I really enjoy that. Yeah, if you can learn how to work on your own guns safely and competently, I think it's good. You can save yourself some money as well. Steve B, 1100 for Shadow 2 compact. Ordered one the day it came out. Just as good as the full size. Nice. That's awesome, man. Yeah, like I said, I like mine. It certainly does what I want it to do. So it's just a mini Shadow 2. So I like it. Pistol Pete, that's not a bad price for one. Steve B. Yeah. Irish Sheepdog. Let's see. I had to spend wisely. Family first. Is the DWX the best for that money? Really want one, but have to justify. I can't tell you it's the best. Everybody's a little bit different, especially when we're talking that kind of money. So I don't want to put any sort of a stamp of anything when we're talking that kind of your money. I will tell you from my perspective, my own opinion, for my hands, for how crappy they are and everything, the DWX is wonderful. It is a wonderful shooter. It fits my hand very well. It's very reminiscent of a Shadow 2, which also fits my hand very well. So I like it. So was it worth it for me? 110%. Is it worth it for someone else? You got to answer your own question there. But people have by and large really enjoyed them. So if you go off of reviewer opinions and that sort of thing, which I'm not. I mean, we're talking like the Honest Outlaws of the world and other people like that. They've all had a good time with it. So if you're willing to part with that money, knowing that you could probably recoup the majority of it if you had to down the road and you didn't like the gun, I mean, it might be worth it. But again, you have to make that choice. Plethora of blades. Sundar Puche running YouTube to the ground. Is that who runs YouTube? A very interesting name, one that I clearly cannot pronounce. But yeah, the YouTube is struggling. They really are. Matty Deeds, all full-size poly striker fired handguns. Shoot the same, in my opinion. Great for carry, not great for shooting pleasure. I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. Now, I do like the USP Expert. I do like that one quite a bit. It's kind of a chunky monkey. It's not very ergonomic, but it's easy for me to manipulate. It was the very first gun I started shooting after surgery because that slide is so easy to rack. And that was a big concern of mine because it's left hand and that's the bad hand. So that it kind of has a special place in my heart for that very reason. But yeah, I like that one. But yeah, by and large, the polymers, not quite so much for me. Plethora of blades. Rumble is not a bad idea. I think part of the problem with a lot of those other services, they don't have the ad revenue that YouTube does. And YouTube knows that. I mean, it's just the honest truth. Range Randy, I agree. Steve B, I really like my Shadow 2 Compact as much as I like my full-size Shadow 2, maybe more. Nice, maybe more. Wow. That's a bold statement, Randy. That is a bold statement, my friend. I don't know. I would have a hard time putting very many things ahead of the Shadow 2. I would have a hard time with that. But the Compact is a great gun for sure. I actually like the DWX Compact just a little bit more, but they are pretty on par with each other. Steve B, ammunition prices are going up again on the 1st. No surprise. No surprise. This will be, it's a great gun, Irish Sheepdog. Okay. Pops Quest got to go. Really good. Really good to see you gun chatting. Yeah, man. You've probably already gone, but thanks so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. We'll catch up at some point. Speed, if you start working on CZs, buy the tools from E-Man Tech. You'll have to remind me about that later because I would be interested in that, and I appreciate the advice on that. Thank you. E-Man Tech, yeah, I'll have to. I think I can star that, and I'm going to throw it up on the screen too. So I'll go back and I'll look at this again, make sure I get the right tools. So thank you for that. All right, Irish Sheepdog, FYI, you're one of the opinions we all watch for. Also, you helped me pick many. Thank you. Oh man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I tried to keep it pretty level and honest. You know, if I didn't like it, I didn't like it. But most guns I thought were okay. There were a few that I did not like, and people knew, and I got crap for that, by the way. That Arex Delta or whatever it was, man, there were some people pretty bent out of shape because I was not very kind to it, but it is what it is. I didn't like it. Let's see. Matty Deeds. Bold statement, Randy. You're right. It was a bold statement. Shadow 2 is pretty near and dear to people's hearts. No doubt about it. But, you know, it's funny. It's almost like the quadfecta. I know that's not a word. I realize it's trifecta, but it's like the quadfecta. We've got the DWX and Shadow 2, and then we've got the compact variants of the two of them. It's a great set of firearms. If you like, you know, just big, heavy guns or heavier carry guns and that sort of thing, they're pretty fantastic. Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with those. Is it Bob Stedge? I hope it's Bob Stedge. I hope I'm saying that right. Hell yes, a man you can trust. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. It's very nice of you. Well, what else have you guys been thinking about? What other questions do you guys have? I feel like I need some more questions for you guys aside from CZ and DWX. What else are you guys digging? What else are you guys into? I'm always curious about that as well. ADEVs, is the P210 carry vaporware or is it a regional thing? None of the master dealers within 2 or 3 hours have yet to see one. So the 210 carry. I mean, I've got one now. There's a newer one that's got kind of a fancy slide. It's got some etching on it or something. That's not my cup of tea. I got the original carry when it first came out. This was 2 years ago. Don't quote me on that. So I'm guessing the last few years after the whole 2020 thing, it all kind of blends together a little bit. But the original carry that's made in the U.S. It's been out for a while. I feel like you can still find them. You might just have to hunt around. I mean, have you checked Gunbroker or anything like that? It's worth getting, in my opinion. It is single stack, and people have chewed on it for not being optics ready. It doesn't have a rail or anything like that. I think it's a very classy gun. I like the look of it. It's a little bit more traditional, right? Doesn't have some of the fancy features, but it's a great shooter. It's a nice gun. It's another one that I'm fine with. That and its bigger brother, the Target, with not the funky grip one. I don't like that one, the normal grip one, but those are ones I don't mind shooting. But yeah, I hope you can find one. Now, if it's the kind of fancy slide one, let me know. They're out there for sure. They're at distributors now. New text I can. Man, it's great to see you. It's been way too long. And he's saying, great to see you. Appreciate it. I really do. Yeah, I hope you're well. Oh, Pistol Pete. Really like the Tanfolio Defiant Limited Master, and not just because it is one of the longest names for a gun ever made. It's an SAO and it shoots so nice. Okay. I may have to check that one out. I'm not familiar with that one. Does that one also come with one magazine? Because if it does, that it's not for me. But I like Tanfolios. My Big Johnson was in Kansas City. It was the first time he was in Kansas City, I think, way back when we were doing the live streams together. And he brought one of his Tanfos, and I really enjoyed it. Again, because it was very reminiscent of a Shadow 2. Just a slightly different form factor of it, but I definitely enjoyed it. I really did. Looney Tune KS, what up? What's your new favorite pistol? Do you still have the Nomad Defense Glock frame? Good question. Yes, I do have the Nomad. I do. I still have all the P80 stuff. Admittedly, they gather dust for the most part in the safe. I don't really pay much attention to them, and that's largely because I'm just not really into the polymer thing quite so much. But we've been talking a fair amount about the Dan Wesson DWX. That's a new one that I'm really enjoying. Another one, the SIG P226 X5 Legion. I like that quite a bit. I like the heavier guns right now. So those are ones I can really enjoy. They've got great triggers. They're easy on my hand, which is a must for me at this point. So those are kind of the big ones. There are some other ones as well, but just about everything is kind of big and clunky. I just prefer that at this point in time. I'm big and clunky, so it all works out in the end. Tex I can. Missed you getting the band back together with Big J in 1776. We'll do it again, I'm sure, at some point in time. But hopefully you got to see that video on Tuesday. We had a good time. It was fun. It was fun to catch up. So we, admittedly, the three of us have really not spoken very much over time, and largely because we've all got lives. We've all got things going on. So it was good to catch up. So, but hopefully you can join the next one. Pistol Pete comes to 2 mags and base pads for the Magwell. Okay, two is twice as many as the other one, so that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. All right, let's see. Irish Sheepdog, shot or like any of the high power remakes? Yes, I had the Springfield. Was it the SA35? I think it was. It was okay. I do not have it anymore. Hopefully that tells you everything you need to know, at least from my perspective for this one guy. It just didn't, it was a good looking gun. It was a good looking gun. It felt reasonable in the hand. I didn't necessarily like the way it shot, but I'll be honest with you, and I am very alone in this. I'm one of the few people on the planet that really is not into high powers. I thought I would be, but just, it doesn't do it for me. It really doesn't. Bob Stedge, joking, of course. I have my finger on the trigger on FTP10S. Any new thoughts? Let's see. let's see, the FD P10S. I mean, it's a good gun. The P10s, the P10 series in general, I think is very good, and I think it's largely underrated. People spend so much time talking about Glock and Sig and Smith, kind of the big ones, but then also Springfield and to an extent HK Walther. They sort of forget CZ a little bit, but the P10s are good and they're cost effective. You can generally get into one of those for not a lot of money. And they're reasonably well supported. There's some trigger options, some barrel options. Now, I don't know about the S, but I do know for some of the other ones, probably for the S as well. But if you're a CZ fan, or maybe you have some other P10s, it is an option. It really is. Let's see. Pistol Pete can't complain. Okay, talking to new text, I can. Bob Stedge, life, it happens. Well, it does. I mean, it kind of gets the best of all of us sometimes. It's just kind of the way it is. I'm going to flip over to the other screen here for just a second here. Okay, cool. All right, so new text I can. Getting better. Pistol Pete had some. Okay, back issue. Okay, those guys having a conversation here. Matty Deeds. I have. Let's see. I have dove face first into the addicting world of collecting knives. Anything new in the gun industry worth buying has been too pricey lately. Everything trying to jump on the 2011 trend. You are not wrong, man. 2011. That it is a hot button topic for sure. The amount of staccatos I see coming into the shop, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'd be curious to know what knives you're into. I'm a Spyderco collector. I absolutely love Spydercos. I don't have anything too terribly crazy, but I do enjoy my Spydercos and also carry one every day, or a couple sometimes. So I'd be curious to know. Let's see. Fina, are you still collecting the older guns from Smith & Wesson and so on? Not as much. I really am not. And again, partly I was kind of driven to that decision by the hand a little bit and wanted to be able to get back into shooting. And a lot of those Smiths are alloy frame, and they're not as much fun, not as heavy, but great guns. They are absolutely great guns. So I haven't been adding to that part of the collection lately, and I don't have plans to at this time. That may change at some point, but not right now. A-dubs, let's see. IFG needs to get more Sabati rifles in country. Okay, look forward to seeing how they compare to CZ600 series. Okay, that's out of my realm of expertise. I don't know if anybody else wants to weigh in on that at all, but yeah, hopefully they do get more in country, I guess. LZ, man, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Do you still have your Banshee? Sure do. Absolutely. I do indeed. Love it. I don't think I've ever had a single issue with that. And I run it suppressed probably 85% of the time. It does well. I clean it. I try and take care of it as best I can. It's SBR now. I do have the Banshee ripstock for it, the official one, and that's been great. So yeah, I love my Banshee. Let's see, Looney Tune. Are any of your newer metal pistols ported comped? That should definitely help with the fee. Yeah, so the 226 X5 Legion and the 320 AXG Legion are both comped. There, it's got the comps at the end of the slide, so it's all built in, which means there's less likelihood for pressure issues because sometimes when you get comped guns, especially ported ones, not so much, but comped ones, you sometimes run into pressure issues and recoil spring issues, that sort of thing, but not with this type of system. So yes, they both have those. They don't comp as well, but they do okay, and I'm sure they probably help a little bit. See, Jojo Gucci, thanks for joining, man. Shadow 2 or Prodigy for planking use? Shadow 2 all day long. It's less expensive and in my opinion, much more tried and true. And this is all opinion, of course. If you're into the 2011 thing, Prodigy would probably make more sense for you. But Shadow 2 is tough to beat, man. Shadow 2 is tough to beat. It really is. And you can get a Shadow 2 SA. So it's single action only if you wanted. So you could really kind of get it closer to the 2011 thing. So food for thought. Bob Stedge, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Captain Phil, man, gosh, it's been a while. Captain Phil. Brad 92 Brigadier frame acquired. Nice. Well done. Well done. Let's see, new text I can. Got to run. Sitting at a restaurant with the family, man. Just great to see you. Stop back by when you can. And I'm sure I'm behind on that, but I'm trying to catch up. Mr. Peanut, Mr. Peanut's good to see you. KGG, let's see. First time here, I must have said because I'm from Kansas too. Well, welcome, fellow Kansan. I am at a restaurant with a family, and the volume is down, but I wanted to say hi. I hope you're well. Hope you're well. Hope you can hear me saying hi. Pistol Pete, LTT at a 15% off sale and everything yesterday. Nice. Let's see. Bob Stedge, I only need one carry. Honest likes. Okay. Alaskan Ballistics. Yeah, YouTube is better for shorts than Instagram these days, as Instagram censors any shooting videos. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, fair enough. I haven't posted anything on Instagram in a while either, to be honest. So, Fina, thanks, Cass. Now I'm doing dishes because my wife is watching you. Fair enough. It's funny. Peanut, I'm a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 4.25, wonderful firearm. Yeah, M&Ps are great guns, man. They're reliable. They're good guns. I'd say, again, they're kind of that top pinnacle of what people typically are looking for, right? Glock, SIG 320s, and the M&Ps. So you just kind of pick your flavor from there, and a lot of people gravitate towards the M&P. They're good guns, no doubt. Joshua, is it Brocky or Brock? Let's see. Jumping in to say hi. Good to see you, alive and well. Yeah, still here, man. Still here. Have you had a chance to check out the new Holosun SCS optic? The one for Glock MOS has been excellent. Nice. I haven't even seen one yet. I've got a couple of guys who are very interested in them over at Centerfire, but I have not seen one yet. So I'm on the lookout, not for myself, but I'd like to see one, see how it all works. But I'm glad you like it. That's cool. Let's see. Matty D's, a couple PM2s, Protex. Let's see. The Star Wars Microtex. Okay. I'm a nerd. There's no shame in that. And the newest purchase is the Riot Tiger. Riot. Is that how you pronounce it? It might not be, but I will definitely check that out. Yeah, the paramilitary twos are great. Microtex. Let's say I've got a couple. I've got a Stitch, I want to say, and an MSI, and I like both of those. They're pretty good. I've got a couple of is it you just UDX, just your kind of standard automatics, but yeah, the Spyderco is really kind of where I have my attention in terms of that. But that's cool, man. That's cool. There's no shame in being a nerd either at all. Nerds rule the world. Let's see. OB SIG, I assume. Walther PDP SD Compact and Walther PDP F Series 3.5. Love them both. Yeah, like I said, the PDP F I've shot and I enjoyed it. It was a good gun. Felt good in the hand. I was able to, I guess, just wrap a little bit more hand around it, which is probably why I appreciated it so much. It's got that smaller grip on it. But yeah, I liked it. It was a good gun for sure. See, Pistol Pete, they do nice work at LTT. The LTT, man. I've got a 92 and a PX4 Storm, both by Langdon, and I love them, man. I love them. The PX4 Storm's probably my favorite of the two, which is blasphemy, I realize, because I do love a 92. But the PX4 Storm is one of the most underrated guns out there, in my opinion. They are so good. They are so good. So I have it's the Carry Compact LTT version, but then I've got a full size, and I did the whole LTT thing, did it on my own, and it was actually really easy to work on, and it's fantastic. It's probably too light of a trigger, to be honest with you. The single action's like 2 pounds, so it's almost a little dangerous. I would not give it to a new shooter, and the reset is stupid short. It is stupid short, but great guns for sure. Let's see. Dinner's Ray, Matty Deeds, man. Good to see you. Looney Tune, what's your main carry pistol these days? Ironically, and I've been talking about big guns this entire chat and everything, but it's just a regular 365. And that's partly because it's a year-round gun. I mean, yeah, I can wear it with shorts and a t-shirt just as easily as I can with jeans and a hoodie or something like that. So yeah, just a 365. Totally boring, a little bit lame, but it works. Let's see, OB Sig, yes, amazing ergonomic. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Captain Phil, LTT trigger bars are awesome, no doubt. Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with that. Again, Ernest Langdon, he knows what he's doing. He really does. Bob Stedge just got the Beretta APX A1 tack for my collection. Nice product. Haven't had time to shoot. Life, yeah. Tell me about that. I mean, I tested a couple of the original APXs and I liked them. They were fine guns. I have not. I don't know that I've seen an A1 tactical or tack yet, so I'll have to keep my eye out for that. OB Sig, do you know if Springfield fixed the Prodigy? I would assume so. I haven't heard any more about that. I would hope so. Let's put it that way. I think it was largely spring issues. I think they were oversprung, especially the 5-inch one, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, I would assume they have. Don't hold my word for it, but that would be my assumption because it's been out for how long? 2 years, something like that. Alaskan ballistics. What rifles are you into, and when are you going to come up here and hunt with them? I would love to come to Alaska. That would be a lot of fun. What rifles are you into? I mean, I'm not really a rifle guy. I've got a couple of AR pistols. I mean, I'm in the city, obviously, so rifles not as big of a thing for me. Just distance and urban type of things. So I've got a couple of 10.5-inch ARs that are suppressed all the time, and they're fantastic. They're great. I would like to get a 300 blackout at some point in time, but I keep talking myself off the cliff simply because of cost and availability. 300 blackout's a little bit harder to find here, so I don't want to spend the money at this point in time on it. So that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I stick to the PDWs, the B&T, the CMMG, and then I've got a Palmetto State Armory AKV that I like quite a bit. It's kind of a chunky monkey, but and not very practical, but it's fun and it looks cool. So that's a thing. Let's see. First name. I like that. Can't believe you were on. Have I been missing your videos? You have not. You have not. No, this is the first one in a while. Since April of last year, I think. And it's just a live video, but I'm gonna try and do this a little bit more often. As far as the regular, Saturday morning videos or anything, I wouldn't count on that for the time being. Killa, wow, man, it's been a while. Good to see you as well. Good to see you. Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll try and do this a little bit more often. I want to try and catch up with people more. Let's see. OB Sig, you're the best videos and reviews. Why did you stop? Well, I've said it a couple of times tonight, but kind of the short answer, YouTube made it very challenging back in 2019 to a point where it really didn't make sense to continue. We'll just leave it at that for now, but rewind this later and you can get the more fleshed out version of it. So I do miss it from time to time, but yeah, it just from the business side of me said we can't keep doing this basically. Joshua, being that you are in more of an urban environment, do you prefer rifle or pistol for HD? Let's see. I have neighbors on all sides, and over penetration is a constant concern for me. So handgun is what I choose. Yeah, handgun rounds for sure. So home defense, it's either going to be a handgun, right? Or it's going to be a PDW like the CMMG Banshee or something like that. So yes, I have neighbors as well. There's some distance between us, but not a lot. I mean, again, it's a suburban environment. So I do need to be aware of that. And it's good to be thoughtful about that sort of thing. So I'm hoping my setup will cover my needs. And if it can't, I'm in over my head at that point anyway. Irish Sheepdog, 300 blackout pistol suppressed is well worth the cost. I mean, I agree. And at some point, I'm sure I'll do it. All I really need to do is pick up a full upper and go to town. But I haven't pulled the the proverbial trigger at this point in time. Killa, yeah, brother. Been a hot minute for sure. Welcome back. And caught 1776 the other day as well. Nice, yeah. And then we did the three guys chat on Tuesday night. That was a lot of fun. So we'll bring some people on here as well. And oh, Okay. Can we see me now? Hang on. Okay, we fixed it. Sorry about that, guys. So my mouse has a little thumb button on it, and apparently that thumb button exits me right out of the chat. So sorry about that. My bad. Lesson learned. However, we are getting close to 8 o'clock, and I do try and keep these things right around an hour. But rookie, listen, Pete, listen, pal. You are right. I'm total noob at this. No, it's funny. I was thinking about this. We did a chat for like 3.5 years solid, 3.5 years, something like that, every single week. That's kind of impressive. That's kind of cool. I'm proud of that for sure. Obi Sig, your video on the Sig X carry made me buy it, and it's the best gun I've ever owned. Wow, that's cool, man. They don't do the carry, the regular carry anymore, or X carry, I should say, for civilians. I don't think so. Any type of carry you can get a hold of is a good thing for sure. For sure. Well, listen, everybody. Yeah, I think I am going to wrap things up here because it's 8 o'clock. So that was kind of the blackout there for a moment, was just the tease. So this is the encore. But it is about time to wrap things up. But hopefully we'll get more people in as we do this a little bit more often. I have no idea how many people actually get alerts and notifications for these things, to be honest. In fact, Pete, I'm surprised Scott wasn't here tonight, but he may have had something going on or didn't get an alert either. Who knows? But anyways, it's great to see every single one of you guys. So much fun to catch up. We will definitely do it again and all that. Let's see, Killa, what days you're going to be doing this? It may be a little bit random because my schedule, again, life is sort of getting in the way. So it may be random. I'll try and put out something early enough in the days to hopefully let people know. But anyway, so everybody, please stay safe. Merry Christmas. Pete said it very well. And happy holidays, all that good stuff. And we will definitely do it again. But otherwise, I'll talk to you guys later. And thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Take care.